Well, hello everyone. My name is Lindsay and I am the Chief Mustang and owner here at Let's Burlesque, and it gives me absolute pleasure to take you through your Burlesque for Complete Beginners course with us today. So what I want to do is just give you a quick insight into what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be learning, and some props that you might want to add in to get the most out of the experience. So we are going to be looking at doing some power poses, okay? We're going to be looking at some core foundation of movements that we would use in the world of burlesque, sort of, from a performance point of view, from stage presence to routines and things like that, okay? We're going to be looking at some prop removals, yeah? So that's when the fun really begins. We're going to be looking at the way we move and the way that we sort of take ourselves round, either in a performance point of view and just gliding around the room. And then at the end, we're going to pop it all together and we're going to offer you a little routine to kind of bring this all together and consolidate it into a little mini routine, okay? And then once you've completed this course, you will have the basic concepts of burlesque, and then you could go on and do some of our routines, you could do some of our other workshops, you can progress even further. You may even feel like you want to come and do some instructor training and become an instructor with us. The world is your oyster, as they say, okay? So, first of all, before we get started, let me just give you an insight into some of the props I'm going to be using. So that if you need to take a break and get yourself some props before we move on, you can do so, or you can get started with the course, get the props ordered in the process, and then you can come back and join me again when they've arrived. So when we start to look at the prop peeling, we're going to be using long gloves, okay? Now, I don't recommend fishnet type style gloves, and lace can be a little bit tricky, especially if you've got any sort of wedding bands on and things like that. So generally a full glove is better, but you will need some long gloves that come up to your elbow. You'll need some stockings, some hold-ups. Now these can be with or without the suspender belt, okay? So today I'm not going to use the belt, but I will give you an inkling in how you can work if you have got a suspender belt attached to them, so I'll add that in as well. But you'll need some stockings or some hold-ups, and again, for what we're going to be doing today, I don't recommend fishnet versions, okay? Try and go for a full material. You're going to need a chair. All right, just something that you can sit on and move around, okay? It hasn't got to be anything extravagant or too fancy. If it's got a lower back, that does help. If the back's really high on it, like if you're using your dining room chair, then these can cause a few sort of complications and restrictions, but we can work with that. But generally, if you've got a chair that's got a low back on it, that would be helpful. And then, to help with sort of the beginning, so the movement, the power posing, the audience, engagement and presence, we're also going to be working with a boa. Now, obviously I'm very blessed, I've got my luxury boa here. Some people are allergic to the feathers in the boas, okay? So get something that's going to work for you. Ideally it wants to be sort of 2 meters long. Minimum, 1.50 meters. But if you can get 2 meters, great stuff. Don't have to go with a boa. You could use a winter scarf, yeah? But what's really important is you work with something that's not going to irritate you and start, bringing you out in rashes and things like that. You need a little bit of space, okay? And if you can, it might not be something you can do straight away, you might sort of get started and then come back to them. But if you can, a pair of heels, yeah? Because certainly when we're moving, what we're trying to do is make ourselves look like we're not shopping at our local supermarket and that we're actually moving with grace and poise and presence and purpose, okay? And sometimes, certainly, you know, I speak for myself here, I will walk very differently when I've got a pair of heels on than if I've got no shoes on or something like trainers, okay? So, just to quickly recap them, we're going to start without anything, and then as we continue on through the course, we're going to start bringing in the props. So hopefully some heels, you know, a boa or a scarf or a garment of some sort that you can wrap around you, ideally about 2 meters long. Chair to work with and move around. Hold ups. Yeah, stockings, with or without a suspender belt, and some long gloves, all right? And the way we're going to do this session is we're going to break it down as individuals, yeah? So we're going to do sort of, that bit will just be the gloves, that bit will be just the stockings, and then, like I say, at the end, we're going to try and pull it all together for those of you that want to, and we'll put a little mini routine together